Hey there, welcome back to another episode of BerlinCraft. Today we're going to kick stuff off over here at the Mushroom Island by showing you the building that is in front of me now, finished, and then going over to the Saloon Town while I talk about a little bit of revelations with building and then do some work. So, all I did for the building to finish it off was take the pattern on this side, put it on that side, and put it on the back, and I think it looks very good. And for the inside flooring, all I did, because I was lazy, ooh, nice jump there, because I was lazy, is took a whole bunch of bone blocks and laid them down for the floor. I honestly think it looks pretty good for a flooring material, and now the building is done. We'll never come back and we'll never do interior design on it ever again because this is how the channel works. I'm kidding about that. We'll probably come back to it another day. I actually might just do a lot of the interior designs for buildings that I didn't actually design on the inside off camera one day, or maybe do a live stream. I've been meaning to try live streaming again. Last time I tried live streaming, it didn't go so well. It kept cutting in and out, but since then, I got better internet, and hopefully it was the internet and not the computer. If it was the computer, I can't really do anything about that. If it was the internet, fantastic. I'll try streaming again. Who knows? It's either off camera or on stream. Either way, it will be done some way, or on camera. I don't know. Either way, one way or another, it will be done. To the Saloon Town we go. Okay, so we're over here at the Saloon Town, and we will get started in just a second. But I want to talk about something that I realized just a little bit ago. Building on flat ground is sort of boring. It looks very plain, everything's on the same level, it doesn't add much variation, it doesn't leave much to the mind, it doesn't do much for creativity, because everything is very flat. So, what I want to do today is, starting from here, and from back here, I want to make the rest of this area very, well, not very, just start to hill it a little bit so we can get more variation with the mountain. I want it to have some variation. We have buildings here, of course, you know, they're here, they're doing the thing, and they're being buildings, but it's very flat, and I want to start building on slightly elevated things. I want the town to look more interesting, and even over here in this flat area, I will build something over here, like a small little, like even just one block up would help it just stand out a little bit more. And I also realized something about these pathways. I like how they look. Absolutely love how they look. They're very nice pathways for what we're trying to go here, but I want to redo them a little bit, and I made them very, very thick. I don't like how thick they are. Now, of course, they look very nice, and they fit in with the town, so I'll be keeping this and revising. Oh, I didn't mean to break that. I'll be keeping them and revising their design a little bit, but off camera, I want to tear up this road. I mean, completely just tear up the road, and then make it thinner and add a little bit more design into it. Just because, as much as I like it, it looks too thick. We could do a little bit more with a little bit of a thinner pathway, and these sort of holes in the ground, as much as they add stuff, they are sort of hard to walk over because you're constantly just dipping into the ground. That wasn't a very good showcase, but you're constantly just dipping into the ground. No matter where you're walking, you're just dipping. It makes running harder to do unless you're jumping, which I usually do anyway. But off camera, before we get over here to making the hills, I want to redo these pathways just off camera because you've already seen me do these pathways. All I'm doing is changing their design a little bit and making them a little thinner, and then we'll get over here on the hills. So give me 1 minute and I will do that, and I will be back with you. Alright, so I finished the path. It's pretty simple. It's a very, like, you know, basic design. I think it looks really good, though. It fits in really well. It is very basic, so maybe I'll change a couple things about it later, but for right now, I'm happy with it, and it is coarse dirt, some jungle planks, and leaves, and I think it looks really well. It fits in really well. It gives the town a little bit of a different feel. The other road was all potholy and weird, and there was too many colors. This is sort of a blander road, but it fits in a lot more to the feel. So let's get a look at it from coming up from the pathway, which also I don't like the look of, because it's all oak and I don't like it. So I'm probably going to change this off camera a little bit as well, just spruce it up a little bit, because honestly, it's all oak. It does not look that good. So if we come up, we see the buildings in our corner of our eye, and then we turn, and then we see the town. We see the very long stretch of the road, which sort of hits the end of my render distance, or at least the sky, and then it just sort of drops off, which looks good. You walk in and you see the left and the right, and you know exactly if you should go left or right, because it has a very clear definition of left or right, and not the, oh, hello, are you people spawning there? Huh. I guess I didn't, oh yeah, I guess I did not light it up that well. Okay, that's a reminder to me. Light that up a little bit better. But yeah, it doesn't have that curve right here. Well, this side might, that side might, that side might, because it has to go into the actual buildings. That is also something I want to add. Just come here and go, ooh, just come here and go like that, like, simple little thing like boop 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 boop, just so it, you know, you can get actually into the building. So just like random little holes here and there so you can get into the buildings, like a little bit of a pathway like leading up to the house or the building. That's all I'm asking for. Not there, but maybe like there. But now the plan is to get it to make some hills, and you know what the best way to make some natural Minecraft looking hills is, in my experience, it's to place down a block and then just run, and then sort of zigzag yourself just a little bit. Don't try and go like too crazy with it, but just slightly zigzag yourself a little bit. It helps if you keep on the block a little bit, but if you just sort of zigzag yourself like this, you get a very sort of random pattern. Now, we're probably going to have to move this one, back one, because that gets a little too close to the building. That is a bit too close to the comfort zone for the building. And then what you want to do is just sort of keep, ooh, well, the elytra sort of messed that up, is you sort of want to just keep running back and forth for a little bit, and then you'll sort of get like a very unnatural, or a very natural Minecraft looking shape, very random, very like unpredictable. That's what you're trying to go for, because Minecraft terrain, although sort of terraform or sort of smooth in most aspects, like it's sort of smooth and the smooth curves, that's what you're sort of going for. You can also just sort of patch it together yourself, you know, add in your own couple little bumps here and there. But that's pretty much the gist of trying to get something to look like natural Minecraft terrain, is just make it sort of smooth, but at the same time, don't make it too smooth. Make it rough, make it bumpy. That's your whole plan. So what we're doing now is we're just sort of filling it in as much as we can to sort of get rid of the really rough feeling, the really like jumpy feeling that we did. Although you don't have to do this, you can just follow my little jumpy back and forth thing. This is just what I like to do personally. That helps add a little bit of flavor into it, like if we go there, and then if you want to sort of follow what this does, just go off one block from there, so you'll end up with a one block sort of lip against a hill. So what we're doing here is we're just going across like this, and then as you'll see here, we just have this small little lip once again, but you can see that now we have a full sort of curve that comes from here, and then we just have to fill this up and then do it again a little while back so we can still fit buildings in there. But I can already sort of see this is going to look quite good, because right behind these buildings, right behind this really sort of flat land, we're going to have a little bit of a bump, which we can go up. Let's grab this, because this will help us as well. We're going to have a bump, which will go up, and we can fit buildings in there. So, I'm not sure if I will do a time-lapse. Actually, it was probably very silly of me to do the pathway here, because I forgot that I was doing the hill. But, no, regardless, geez, my words, regardless, I will still do this, and then I'm not sure if I will do a time-lapse or what, but just something simple, either a time-lapse or a quick cut when this is done, and then we'll talk about sort of something else that I actually had on my mind. I actually think I found a decent name for the Saloon Town, which is, that's what we've been calling it, is the Saloon Town, or the Wild West Town, just these random little names. Alright, so either a time-lapse or just a quick cut for at least the first plateau, and then the second plateau, etc, etc. So I will be back when either one of those happens. Okay, so we finished it up. Now, let me explain a little bit of a design choice I made here. Instead of cutting through the path here and just adding up a big hill, like one big hill that cuts through right there, I extended the path a little bit so we can fit a little bit more buildings in here. Now, we can now take this path down this way a little bit and have a couple buildings there, and it lets us have a little bit more freedom. This can come up to here. There can be another little platform up here for maybe like a big house. If Wild West, if Wild West towns had a mayor's house, it would definitely be up there, or a town hall, or maybe if we extend this out a little bit and do some terraforming back here at the very end of this strip. I like this idea. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a far-fetch. If we extend this out a little bit and make it a bigger area, we have a church at this end. Now, I personally like the idea of having a church at this end because at this end of the church, or at this end of the town, we have a church. At this end of the town, we have the guillotine. And so if people come out of church with, I don't know, after like a sentence, or maybe a courthouse right here instead. Maybe a courthouse here and a church next to the guillotines. I'm not really sure, but courthouse or church here. And then they have this long walk down the town straight to the guillotines as they pass all of the other people and other inhabitants of the town with the crook. They can walk all the way down here to the end for the guillotines. And then I forgot, well, I didn't have enough clay to do up a little bit here. Also, another idea I had, if we wanted to extend out the town quite a bit. Now, I was thinking, oh, well, the other plateau is not that far away. It's quite far away. Like, that was out of our render distance. And my render distance is actually pretty high for BerlinCraft. The other plateau is right there, and I don't think that one, I don't have my bow on me, I don't think this one actually attaches to the plateau. So if we wanted to extend it, we're either going to have to build a giant bridge. Actually, no, it does attach to it. Okay, so maybe we will extend it, either that or make a giant bridge straight to this end and use this end. Although this end's quite grassy, we might have to do something about this. But if we do, it would be a very, very big bridge, and I'm not sure 100% how I would feel about such a massive bridge. But as I said before the cut, I have an idea for the town name, and I want some feedback and opinions on it. Since we're making some hills, and it just popped in my head, what if we name the town Dusty Hills? What if we name this town Dusty Hills? Now, the other episode, I actually had 2 names pulled up in my chat. I don't think you guys saw them. I was thinking of announcing it then, but I had 2 names in my chat, and I didn't think you guys saw them, and I don't think you guys saw them, but they were the generic sort of naming, like, not generic, but a lot of people use it for naming stuff, and that is the Latin version of words. I keep stumbling over my words. I'm sorry if there's cut. I keep stumbling over my words. I'm sorry if there's cuts. The Latin version of a word. So I was thinking like, oh, the Latin version of a cow, and that's Borvine or something like that, and heat was Arido, and it's like, oh, we can name it Arido, and the mushroom town could be Borea, and it's like, oh yeah, those are really good names, but I'm thinking Dusty Hills for the name of this town, and if we wanted to add a tagline to it, because this was the first thing we built, and it is possibly the main attraction of the town, we call it Dusty Hills, the Saloon Town. And I just threw in the Saloon Town there because I've been calling it Saloon Town for like 20-30 episodes now, and I'd feel wrong if it wasn't there. So tell me what you think of that name, Dusty Hills, the Saloon Town, or without the tagline on it, just Dusty Hills. So tell me what you think of that. Tell me your opinions on that. I'm still mulling over some names for the Mushroom Island, but I'm sort of glad we're finally getting the names and stuff out for the town. So once again, tell me your opinions on the name Dusty Hills, the Saloon Town, and without a tagline, just Dusty Hills. Alright, just another quick cut for me to gather a little bit more supplies, and then I'll be back with you in another second. Okay, so I did just say it earlier in the episode, but I don't like how this is all oak. I don't like how it looks, and, well, I like how it looks, it's just I don't like the fact that it's all oak. So what I want to do is take all of these pillars, and redo them with dark oak and spruce to contrast the oak here, and I might even end up changing the oak. But I want to do this off camera. You can see I have the supplies. I want to do this off camera because, again, you guys already saw me do this. It's me. Like, this is all it's going to be. Let's see if I can just... I can't make that jump because I'm terrible at parkour, apparently. All it will be is me taking these and then going down with them right down to the bottom, right down here, and then taking the materials I have here and, oops, well, not there, down to the bottom, and then just going up with them, and then getting to the point they were before, so like up here, like right there, and then add 2 more fences to them, so 1, and then like 2, or maybe just 1, but that's pretty much all I'm going to be doing, is changing all of the pillars into this, which I think might look a little bit better. I don't know. This is just me experimenting once again. You know, this is a little bit of an experiment episode, you know, just with experimenting with different heights over there and the new pathway. So we're just experimenting this episode, but I want to do it off camera because you guys already saw me build this, and in my opinion, that was one of the slowest episodes I've done. It was all this. Every bit of that episode was this, and that was boring. Oh boy. But yeah. So, I'm going to do this off camera. You guys will see the end product of this next episode. Yes, cliffhangers. You guys will see the product of this next episode. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Sorry we didn't get a huge amount of building done. It was more terraforming, talking about the Saloon Town and the new pathways. I promise next episode will actually be in the Saloon Town doing another building. Because we did spend 2 episodes over there in the Mushroom Town. It is only fair that we come over here and spend 2 episodes in the Saloon Town, or Dry Hills, and that'll be it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed. I hope to see you in the next video. Remember, stay fancy and peace out. Bye-bye.